Welcome to Idea Kids. In today's video, I'm continuing with the microorganisms chapter in which we have already studied about the different types of microorganisms. In the last video, we also discussed about the useful microorganisms कि वो हमारे लिए कैसे useful है. In today's video, let's discuss कि microorganisms harmful कैसे हो सकते हैं और how they cause harm to us and other animals and plants as well. साथ ही स्टडी करेंगे that how these affect the food, that means how they cause food spoilage, and we'll also discuss the methods of food preservation कि खाने को किन किन मेथड से प्रिजर्व किया जा सकता है और उसे कंज्यूमेबल रखा जा सकता है लंबे टाइम तक. Let's begin with the thought which says that there's no shortcut to anything worth going. That means कि कोई ऐसी जगह जहाँ जो important है, that means any position, any goal or target which is worth, there will be no shortcut to it except you do hard work, you put a lot of efforts and achieve that. So have your targets and put your efforts to achieve that. Okay, let's begin with the chapter. When we talk about the harmful microorganisms, इसकी जब भी हम बात करते हैं ध्यान रखिए माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ह्यूमन बींग्स में बहुत सारे डिसीजेस कॉज करते हैं एंड द एक्सटेंट एट विच दे आर हार्मफुल टू अस can be understood that there are so many infectious diseases caused by viruses, protozoa, bacteria, fungi. They are the leading cause of death among human beings. कि human beings के अंदर जो death का leading cause है, this is some of the infectious diseases caused by these microorganisms. अगर हम WHO का स्टडी को स्टडी करें जो 2016 का इसका स्टडी है, it said that जो वर्ल्ड के टॉप 10 कॉजेज है डेथ के उसमें से 3 हैं infectious diseases which are caused by microorganism. Topmost being the that means the heart diseases which are reason of the topmost highest number of death. Otherwise, you can see that if you study that what are those 3 infectious diseases which cause highest number of death are, the first is lower respiratory diseases. जो हमारे lungs से इनके जो infections हैं उनकी डिसीजेस कॉज करते हैं 3 million death in a year. This was a study of 2016, correct? Now the number would have increased much more. The second reason was the diarrheal diseases. That means the germs which enter into our body through our food or the water we drink or the juices we drink. Fine? They cause 1.4 million death in a year. The third reason being the tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, you're aware, is also very widespread among the Asian and African continent especially, and it causes 1.3 million death in a year. Okay, now you can understand that 2020 where we are facing COVID-19, this viral disease COVID-19 has caused so many deaths till now, and it has become a pandemic and has affected almost all the nations in the world. So you can understand that to what level these microorganisms can affect our lives. So hopefully by now we all would have understood the importance of these all microorganisms in our lives. And this pandemic, you're aware, has disrupted the national and global economies as well as the relationship between many countries have got affected because of this. So you can understand what change it can bring. Now let's understand that how these microorganisms are transmitted. किस method से ये एक दूसरे में फैलते हैं. So when we talk about infectious diseases, we should know that infectious diseases are spreading at a much more faster rate. Means every year there are a lot of diseases, infectious diseases we come across which are new, correct? So if we again look at WHO study which has identified more than 1000 infectious diseases in last 10 years. Okay, last 10 years में 1000 epidemic infectious diseases WHO ने observe की हैं. Among them, the avian flu, the bird flu, the polio, the cholera, these are the common ones. Okay, and when we talk about the further methods through which these spread, we can say the most common ones are the air and water. Air and water ऐसे methods because we all have to breathe, we all have to take enough food or drink water. So this is very common method through which the germs can spread. So how they enter? The germs can enter into the air through when somebody is sneezing, coughing, and when the germs come out of the infected person's mouth, then the germs will spread into the air. And if any healthy person breathe in those germs, they will enter into that person's body, and again, as they are getting a lot of nutrients inside our body, so they will grow and divide constantly, and they will increase in so much of number, and they will release the toxins which will harm us. Fine. The next reason can be the insects. Now insects itself are not harmful. Basically what is happening, insects are becoming a carrier of the germ. Insect क्या कर रहा है, एक इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन से वो जर्म्स को कैरी करके दूसरे हेल्दी पर्सन में पुट कर रहा है. So what is getting? They are becoming a carrier, and the insects which carry the germs, they are called as vector. उनको हम कहते हैं vectors. इसलिए इस टाइप के डिसीजेस जो कि इंसेक्ट्स के थ्रू कैरी होकर स्प्रेड होते हैं, उनको हम बोलते हैं वेक्टर बॉर्न डिसीजेस. जैसे मलेरिया. मलेरिया बहुत कॉमन डिसीज है. वी ऑल ऑब्जर्व देयर आर सम आफ्टर, स्पेशली आफ्टर रेनी सीजन, वी हैव लॉट ऑफ cases of malaria. Why it is so? Because the water get filled up in different areas, the plots, the drains, and some things which are in which water can get collected, and then when the mosquitoes breed in them, mosquitoes increase in number, and then they can easily spread this germ to other persons. So this is becoming the another cause or the method through which the germs can spread. The third can be the cuts and wounds. अगर किसी पर्सन की बॉडी में या हमारे स्किन में कोई भी कट लगता है या वूंड वी डेवलप, यानी कोई भी घाव हो जाता है या कट लगता है, that as also a passage through which the germs can enter into our body. Fine. So this is also one of the mode or the method through which the germs can enter into a healthy person's body and cause the disease in that person's body. Fine. There can be several other ways, but these are the most common ones through which the infectious diseases spread, okay, which are mostly caused by microorganisms. Now, when we have understood that how these diseases basically are carried and infected, so what we need to understand that how can we prevent such diseases, कि इस तरह के diseases को prevent कैसे किया जा सकता है. As we always say, prevention is better than cure. So let's understand that how prevention can take, or how can we prevent such diseases. The first one being getting the vaccination, okay, or in other terms we call it immunization, या जिसे हम बोलते हैं टीकाकरण. If you have it is from the very early age, once a child is born, in 1 or 2 days he gets the first vaccine, and after that at regular interval there is a schedule provided to them where from which they, according to that, they can get the vaccination. But in many of the countries and in many parts of our country also, children doesn't get vaccination normally. Like either the parents are careless or they are not having the facilities to get vaccinated. So that again becomes a cause of death of young kids. Okay. So this vaccination becomes a very important prevention method. Okay. Second one being the maintaining hygiene. This becomes a problem in some of the areas in mega cities, metros, where people in some of the areas do not get so much of hygienic condition or sanitation around themselves. So those are the areas again where the infectious diseases are born, they spread, and all those things. So we have to take care that we maintain proper hygiene and sanitation around ourselves. It is not just that I can maintain, I can be safe from infectious diseases. No, you have to keep we have to keep our surroundings, our town, our city, our state, our country, and our world means the proper hygienic condition and healthy conditions to live. Fine. The next one can be the keeping away from persons suffering from infectious disease. See, we have to take care of a person in the family who is ill, but we have to maintain a proper distance that we also do not catch that infection. For example, if someone in the family is having chicken pox, we have to take care of that person, but while maintaining a proper distance and the precautions that needs to be taken care so that we don't get that infection. Fine. The next can be taking the prescribed antibiotics. Now again, it has become an important point because we have discussed that antibiotics has to be taken in the proper amount which is prescribed. Otherwise, we can develop the drug resistant diseases, okay, and there will be no effect of these antibiotics on those germs afterwards. So these prescribed medicines should be taken in a proper dose and proper duration. The next one can be avoiding uncovered food items and street food. जो street food होता है, जो uncovered food है, उसको avoid करिए. Avoid pani puri during after the rainy season, because rainy season again a time where these waterborne diseases and all these diseases spread a lot. So avoid at that time. Avoid eating uncovered food items on the street vendors, from the street vendors. So that will also be a method of protecting yourself from such infections. Not letting the mosquitoes breed or increase in number. We should not let the mosquitoes breed in our area. If some water is getting filled there, so we can ask the municipal corporations to help us in preventing the breeding of mosquitoes in that area. So there are different ways in which we can prevent the breeding of mosquitoes. Now, let's understand that even it is not just we human beings who are getting infected by these microorganisms. There are animals, there are plants, they also get infected. So let's take a look at the common diseases in the animals. कि animals में common diseases कौन सी होती है? The first one, the common one, you would have all heard about rabies. Now, which animals can get affected by rabies? It is dogs, foxes, wolves. Rabies is caused by a virus, okay, and this virus can be in the dogs, foxes, wolves, and when they bite each other, they transmit that into one another, and it can get if for example a dog is suffering from rabies, it can bite human beings also, it can bite another dogs also, and in this way the germs can get transferred into another animals or we. Fine. Now, mode of transmission can be through these dogs bite and cat bite or other animals. Normally, we don't come with the contact of foxes and wolves, but they can bite the other animals in the forest. Now, the next one can be foot and mouth disease. Foot and mouth disease is very common among the cattle. जो गायें भैंसें होती है, बफेलोज और गोट और शीप, इनमें ये फुट एंड माउथ डिसीज होता है, बहुत कॉमन होता है. बट it is very painful for these animals, because में क्या होता है, माउथ जैसे हमारे मुंह में अल्सर्स हो जाते हैं, छाले हो जाते हैं, वैसे फुट एंड माउथ डिसीज में कैटल्स के माउथ में ये इन्फेक्शन होता है. सो इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम टू ईट द फूड. एंड सेकेंडली देयर टोज, उनके जो टोज होते हैं उसमें भी ये हो जाता है, तो उससे उनको चलने में प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. सो दैट इज़ अ वे when the cattle which get affected by this, it is very painful. They are not able to stand on their legs. Sometimes they're not able to eat food for days. But this is treatable. We can show them to a doctor, and then doctor can treat it. Fine. How they can be transmitted? They can transmit it through contaminated air and water. If one cattle from the group is having it, the other can get it through the air, by sharing of water from the same bucket or from the same area. It can be by coming in contact with that animal also, it can spread. The next disease is anthrax, and it affect the cattle. It is caused by bacteria, and it can spread through infected animal into healthy animals. Next one is rinderpest. It is also a common disease among the cattle. It is also caused by virus, and it can also spread to contaminated water and air. So we have to take care that if some cattle is ill, we can keep that in a separate area, and can show it to doctor, and when it get well again, we can clean that area, and then again we can bring it with the group. So separating that ill animal from the other ones will keep the other safe. Okay, now let's understand that what are these common microorganisms cause diseases in plants. Plants में क्या disease cause करते हैं? तो if we look at this tobacco mosaic virus causes tobacco mosaic disease. So this virus affect the the plants, and इसमें क्या होता है, ये spread होता है insects के through. इसमें this is one of the smut, but and the same way the leaves get affected, and ये virus का infection हो जाता है, so plant cannot grow properly. Yellow vein mosaic, it is again caused by virus. It also spreads through insects because insects normally visit the flowers and the plant. So when the insects will go from one plant to another plant or from infected plant to healthy plant, it will carry the germs. Fine. And rust of wheat, it spreads through fungus and it can spread through air, and there might be some spores of fungus on the seeds of that plant. So through that also it can spread. The next one can be loose smut. जो smut होता है ये भी fungus से cause होता है, and this is also spread through air. ये भी air से spread होता है, fungus cause करता है. Fine. Now let's understand now about the spoilage of food by microorganism. कि जो हमारा खाना होता है उसको भी microorganisms spoil करते हैं. कैसे कर सकते हैं, कैसे करते हैं? Microorganisms, we should know that they can grow at an optimum temperature. इससे कम में भी नहीं ग्रो करेंगे, इस ऑप्टिमम रेंज से ज़्यादा में भी नहीं ग्रो करेंगे. तो जो ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर है at which they grow best is what? It is from, if you take it in the centigrade, then it is 4.4 to 60 degrees centigrade. अगर आप 4.4 से कम टेम्परेचर पे रखेंगे, इसको रेफ्रिजरेट करेंगे, तो वी कैन देन ऑल्सो वी कैन प्रिवेंट द स्पॉइलेज. और अगर 60 डिग्री से ज़्यादा जब भी हम इसको बॉयल करते हैं, हीट करते हैं, then also we kill the germs and we prevent the spoilage of food by this. इसीलिए आप देखते हैं हम दूध को गर्म करते हैं या दूध को रेफ्रिजरेट कर देते हैं नॉर्मली, या फिर सब्जियों को भी करते हैं. फाइन. इन स्पेशली इन द समर जब ये टेम्परेचर थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है, एंड एट नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर ऑल्सो दे कैन ग्रो वेरी वेल. फाइन. अभी स्पॉलेज कैसे करते हैं माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म? दिस माइक्रोऑर्गेनिजम्स रिलीज सम टॉक्सिन्स. ये टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस बनाते हैं. बेसिकली दे आर नॉट मेकिंग स्पेशली टू अफेक्ट अस, they are making those toxins naturally in their body. Those chemicals get produced in their body when they are growing, they are doing their own life processes. But problem is that when those toxins are coming in contact with our body parts, our body cells, then they affect our body cells, and in that way only they cause the diseases. और जो food poisoning होती है, it is mostly caused by bacteria and fungi. Again you can understand that food poisoning के पीछे बहुत सारे microorganisms हो सकते हैं. It is not just one which causes it. ठीक है, तो बैक्टीरिया भी cause कर सकते हैं, fungi भी cause कर सकता है. Fine. Now when we talk about consuming contaminated food items, it may cause diarrhea, it may cause cholera, it may cause even the death of a person sometimes if that food poisoning has affected that person severely or that person was not treated initially. तो अगर आप शुरुआत में neglect करेंगे, then afterwards the germ might have affected your body organs severely, so that may be fatal. Okay, now let's understand this normally causes vomiting and loose motions because your body is trying to remove that harmful thing from it. So you will have the vomiting sensation, the person will have vomitings, and that may again cause dehydration, and dehydration again can affect their body functioning. So that person should be given proper treatment. Okay, now let's understand कि ये food spoilage को हम prevent कैसे कर सकते हैं, food preservation कैसे कर सकते हैं, उसके क्या methods है. What is preservation? Preservation is nothing but keeping the food in a good state that we can eat it or we can consume it. So that is preservation. The most common method जो कि हम normally opt करते हैं, that is drying. हम normally dry करते हैं या dehydration करते हैं. Drying means जब भी चीज़ों को सुखा लिया जाता है, जैसे कि हम spices को सुखा लेते हैं, मिर्ची, हल्दी, धनिया, ये सब क्या किया जाता है, इन सबको dry करके हम इसका फिर dry होने के बाद we as we need it, we make the paste out of it and we can consume it. ड्राई फ्रूट्स को हम नॉर्मली आपको पता है आलमंड्स ले लीजिए, कैशू नट ले लीजिए, रेजिन्स ले लीजिए. दीज आर ऑल ड्राइड एंड देन यूज्ड व्हेनेवर वी नीड देम. फाइन. Sweetening and salting, this can again be the second method by which things can be preserved, because if some, जैसे हम चाशनी बनाते हैं, चाशनी मुरब्बे में बनाते हैं, या नॉर्मली जब चाशनी बनाई जाती है उसमें जो चीज़ डिप होगी, germs will not be able to grow in that also. तो इसीलिए हम मुरब्बा बहुत लंबे टाइम के लिए स्टोर कर पाते हैं. क्यों कर पाते हैं? बिकॉज देयर इज लॉट ऑफ स्वीट सब्सटेंसेस इनसाइड इट, और वो जो सब्सटेंस का पीएच है जो हम कहते हैं, वो उसके जर्म्स की ग्रोथ के लिए फेवरेबल नहीं है, तो नॉर्मली माइक्रोब्स इसमें ग्रो नहीं कर पाते हैं. सॉल्टिंग मैथड कि बहुत सारे एरियाज में पिकल पिकल्स को नॉर्मली सॉल्ट में भी रखा जाता है कि अगर आपने पिकल बनाया उसमें एक्स्ट्रा सॉल्ट ऐड कर दिया है तो भी वो पिकल्स प्रिजर्व हो जाता है. नॉर्मली ऑयल यूज़ करते हैं. इन मैनी एरियाज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड विनेगर भी यूज़ होता है पिकल्स के अंदर स्टोर करने के लिए. फाइन. But normally you can see jams and jellies also in which there's a lot of sugar added so that it can be preserved for long time. Next आता है heating method. Okay, हम चीज़ों को गर्म करके भी preserve कर सकते हैं because the heating will kill the germs which are present in it and will keep it protected for a long time. And then फिर वापस हमें इसको गर्म करना होता है so that again the germs cannot grow. One of the very important use of heating has been done in the pasteurization. लुइस पाश्चर थे, उन्होंने ये मेथड डेवलप किया था जिसमें मिल्क प्रिजर्वेशन किया जाता है. इसमें क्या करते हैं, हम मिल्क को एक वेरी हाई टेम्परेचर पर 70-80 डिग्री पर ले जाकर इसको हीट करते हैं. उतना हीट करके इसको सडनली कूल करते हैं. अब सडनली क्यों कूल करते हैं, बिकॉज अगर इसको मिल्क को स्लो कूल करने दिया जाएगा तो क्या होगा, जैसे 30 डिग्री टेम्परेचर आएगा, जर्म्स विल ग्रो इन इट. बट यहाँ पर हमें जर्म्स को ग्रो नहीं होने देना है तो हम क्या करते हैं, हीट करते हैं एंड सडनली कूल करते हैं. तो उससे उस मिल्क के अंदर जर्म्स ग्रो नहीं हो पाते एंड देन वी मेक इट एंड पैक इट इनटू एयर टाइट कंटेनर्स. तो एयर टाइट पैक्स में उसको पैकेजिंग में उसको कर दिया जाता है पैक और फिर इसको ट्रांसपोर्ट करके कंज्यूमर तक पहुंचा दिया जाता है. सो दिस पास्चराइजेशन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मैथड विच इज यूज्ड इन मिल्क प्रिजर्वेशन. नेक्स्ट वन कैन बी यूजिंग केमिकल प्रिजर्वेटिव्स. बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो हम आज के टाइम कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं उसमें केमिकल प्रिजर्वेटिव्स हैं, जैसे सोडियम बेंजोएट हुआ या पोटेशियम मेटाबाइसल्फाइड हुआ है. यू कैन सी व्हेनेवर यू आर बाइंग ए फूड आइटम, उसमें हमेशा देखो कि प्रिजर्वेशन के लिए क्या यूज़ किया गया है, कौन सा प्रिजर्वेटिव यूज़ किया गया है. एंड देयर आर सेवरल, स्पेशली इन द किड्स, there are a lot of researches which says that the preservatives affect the growth and development of your brain. So you should consume them in a limited amount. Okay, I'm not saying don't eat it, but very limited amount. Okay, and that should never replace your nutritious diet. Okay, fine. And where we can where normally it is used, squashes में होता है, ketchups हम खाते हैं, tomato ketchups, squashes जो हम juices लेते हैं उसमें भी ये chemical preservatives add होते हैं. Now the next method is canning. कैनिंग में क्या है, जो फूड आइटम होता है उसको जर्म फ्री बनाया जाता है. उसको पहले हीट करके या किसी डिफरेंट मैथड्स उसको जर्म फ्री करके देन जो कंटेनर होता है उसको जर्म फ्री किया जाता है एंड आफ्टरवर्ड्स दे बोथ आर पैक्ड टुगेदर. ओके, एंड दैट्स हाउ द कैनिंग इज डन. फॉर एग्जांपल फिशेस को पैक किया जा सकता है. इन यूरोपियन कंट्रीज मीट और जो इस तरह की चीज़ें हैं उसको कैनिंग किया जाता है, कैनिंग से स्टोर किया जाता है. यू कैन सी दिस cold drinks, soft drinks also preserved. Next is freezing. Now freezing में आपको पता है बहुत lot of food items has to be frozen. वैसे बहुत सारे फ्रूट्स है, वेजिटेबल्स है, हम चीज़ को करते हैं, स्वीट्स को कर सकते हैं. इसमें हम उसको बहुत लो टेम्परेचर तक पर स्टोर करते हैं ताकि हम उसमें माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म की ग्रोथ को प्रिवेंट कर सकें. Fine. So these are the general or very common preservation methods which are normally used for most of the food items. Fine. There are some methods in which the organs are also preserved. इसको हम बोलते हैं cryopreservation. That is done at a very very low temperature, -200 degree or 300 degree centigrade. We'll talk about it some other day. Thank you for watching this video. That's it for today. Next video will start the next chapter. If you like the video, hit the like button, and if you are watching this channel for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Take care. Bye.